Hi everybody. At Beal Pottery we sell quite a few planters. So I'm going to go over how we make them and some little pitfalls and tricks to make them work out well. I'm going to start off with 5 pounds of Kentucky Mudworks Mulholland. This is going to be an indoor planter. It'll have an attached drainage dish. And as long as we're doing this, we're going to talk about the stack pass. I had some questions. You know, I learned pottery on the mean streets, so I didn't go to school for it. And some of my terminology may not be stuff that you've heard other places. So when we get to that point, we'll kind of go over what that stack pass does and what I'm talking about so that everybody can understand it. Back alleys, had a lot of back alley pottery going on when I was young. Parking lots too, it's true. Got it centered up. First thing when you're making a planter with an attached dish is that you do not want to go too far down when you open your hole. You want to leave a chunky amount of clay, like an inch, so you have plenty of room for the drainage dish to be underneath the interior floor level of your planter. All right, so about an inch. Gonna open that guy up. It's about 1.25 inches if I had to guess. I'm gonna depress that just a touch. So I'm gonna compress the bottom. Got a good inch left in there. All right, so stack pass. On this particular vessel, we wanna leave some of this clay at the bottom so we can form that catch basin. So I'm gonna stack this by starting up higher, moving laterally, and getting the clay up into that strong position, stacked up on top of itself. So I'm gonna leave this, go over it, and now I'm gonna start stacking. Here we go. So all of this is happening from the outside. That's getting us into a strong position. A strong position for your clay is a smaller diameter on the top, larger diameter on the bottom. So now we're gonna go ahead and turn this into a planter. Pull for height. And almost there. Probably squeeze a little bit more out of that. We'll drop down below the floor. And here we go. Pulling up. That should be plenty of room. So you see a lot of planters, and I know that there's good reason, and root balls and all that bullshit, but the planter that has the wide dish that comes in and has straight walls is my least favorite style of planter, so we're not going to make that. We're going to make kind of a bell bottom one. I like when there's a small catch basin and a wide top. So I'll go ahead and come out here and right like so. All right, now we're getting there. I'm gonna go ahead and push this guy over top. I like that look. And I like this look. All right, had some questions recently on how this profiler works. So I'm gonna get this guy cleaned up and we'll get a good look. It's hard to tell, but there's 2 sets of different sized notches here and here. So these are matching, and these are smaller, these are larger, but just the littlest bit. Here's another smaller one, and then here's a great big hook one. This side and this side are great for bottoms and tops of your pieces, like mugs and things I'll show you later. So I'm going to take this big hook and I'm going to place it in here, grabbing this edge right here, and then rolling it down so you get that good finished pro line on your rims. That little bit of overhang really sets it off. It's a good spot for the glaze to break. I'm gonna knock this out and clean it up with a sponge. Okay, so for the most part, the main body of this is done. We're just going to work the dish now. So to save myself the trouble from messing with this later on, before I stand this wall up, I'm going to take my hole punch and I'm just going to rotate it through, aiming for right above that floor. And there you can see, if I put just a little bit of water in there, it usually makes it so I can just pull it right out. It doesn't get stuck, just like that. So now we're going to stand up this little dish. Alrighty, got to get my finger underneath there. And we're just going to make that little pull, squeezing it as I go. Super easy, nothing complicated about this at all. Use my little knife, cut a notch in there. That just makes it easier to come off of the bat and do a little footing later on. I'll clean that last bit up on the trimming wheel. If I want to be real cool, I'll take another profiling tool. So here we go. This is just a plastic kit for icing, doing the profiling on icing. Let's see if I can get that in there. All right, I think that looks pretty good. We're going to take the water out of this thing, make sure we don't have any boogers anywhere, especially on that hole, and we're going to call this a winner. So there you have it. One-piece planter, connected dish. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. Hope everybody learned something, but remember, it's just fun. Well, thanks for watching. If anybody has any questions, you can email me at eric@bealpottery.com and follow us on Instagram.